So how does the school system in Switzerland work? Well, the school system in Switzerland is a little bit complicated, and I believe it's very particular. Like, I didn't see it in many other countries. So let's discuss about it. And why on earth would a YouTube channel about finance talk about the school system in Switzerland? I believe the school system in Switzerland is one of the best school systems out there. I didn't see all the school systems in the world, but as far as I'm concerned, I think for now, for what I saw, the Swiss school system is one of the best. You will learn throughout this video, I will show you how the school system in Switzerland actually is made to make business people. It's actually to make workers. And no, I don't mean only employees, I mean workers. People that can help the society. People that can make the society grow. And ultimately, people that can make the economy of a country grow. Because that's all about it, right? So let's see in this video how the school system in Switzerland works, because it's kind of interesting, I promise. Hey, it's Dario and this is Divity Finance, a platform where we can share our best tips and tools when it comes to trading, investing or finance in general. And in this video, I want to talk about the school system in Switzerland. So let me start by telling you that the school system in Switzerland is kind of complicated. So this is a scheme that I made so that I know what I have to talk about, and all these lines show how the school system in Switzerland is actually very articulated. You can do a lot of things, a lot of different things. They are all pretty much connected. So let me start by telling you what is the normal school system, okay? The normal school system that I see in most of the countries is preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school, university, work. So this is a line. Normally it's a line, okay? We see it in Italy. Yes, we have other things that you can do, but the majority of people, the majority of students decide to go down this line. In Switzerland, there is this line, there is this path, you can do that exactly the same, but most of the people don't do it. 50% of the people in Switzerland choose other types of paths. The same thing, I believe, it's in America. You choose preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school, university, and then go to work. And almost the same in the UK, and well, almost the same in any other country that I know about. France, Germany, Italy, as I said, Croatia, and many other countries. Correct me if I'm wrong though. If you live in one of these countries and you believe your school system is way different than what I think, then please write it down below in the comments. So let's start with the school system in Switzerland. First of all, we all go to preschool. Preschool is essential, it's obligatory in Switzerland. You have to go to preschool for a certain amount of years. You go from 3 years old to 6 years old, at least. I mean, you can even go 2 years, I believe, but normally from 3 years old to 6 years old, so that's 3 years of preschool. Then you enroll in elementary school. If you're 6 years old, you will start the first year of elementary school, so that's first grade. You go in elementary school from first grade to 5th grade, so that's 5 years of elementary school. After that, you start middle school. Middle school goes through 6th grade to 9th grade, and that's the last part of the obligatory schools. After that, you receive a certificate which tells you that you are not obligated to go to school anymore. As far as Swiss government is concerned, you can start working. But of course, most of the people don't start working, or do they? Well, let's see. After middle school, you have basically 3 choices. Now, the choices are a little bit more, but I categorized 3 types of schools. I categorized high school, business school, and technical schools. Now, high school is normal, okay? You have different type of high schools depending on the curriculum you want to follow. So there is the scientific high school, there is the literature high school, or the linguistic, whatever you want to call it, the artistic high school, I believe. But anyways, high school, okay? Normal high school. You go there, you study the subjects that you have to study, math, physics, you study Italian, you probably study even French, I believe, you study Spanish, many things, okay? A lot of things might be even useless for you, but you study them anyways because you chose high school. Normally, now this is weird, I know, but in Switzerland, normally people who choose high school are people that either are not sure what they want to do in life, or, which is completely normal, of course, so you are 14, or no, you are 15 when you enroll in high school. Of course, it depends. Maybe someone started school 1 year later, so it's 16, but the norm is to start high school at 15, so it's normal for you not to know what you want to do. Anyways, people that don't know what to do go to high school, or people that actually know what to do, but they cannot go in another school for some reasons. The reasons, I will talk about it in just a second. Then you have business school. Business school is similar to high school in the sense that it's a full-time school. You will not work in business schools, and there are two types of business schools. There is a high school level business school, and then there is a professional level business school. The high school level business school will give you the high school diploma. The professional level business school will give you the professional diploma or the professional maturity. Those two are two different diplomas or two different maturities, and they are very important to differentiate. I will talk about why it is important in a little bit. And then we have technical schools. Technical schools is the group that I personally choose to call technical schools, where you actually work. Of course, you cannot only work, you have to work and go to school. Well, of course, if someone hires you, you can work, but normally people hire apprentice. So you go through an apprenticeship, and then you go to a technical school to learn things about your profession. This is the path that I chose. So this is the path that I know much better compared to the other paths. Let me finish with high school. Let me finish with the high school path. Now, if you chose high school, you have 4 years of high school. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 years of high school where you will learn things that are a little bit more broad. So even if you choose linguistics, you will still study math. After high school, you can decide to either go to an academic university, so that's the normal university, the university that everyone has in their country, and then you have the professional university. Now, the professional university is not that different from an academic university. It's just that it's more to actually point you in the direction of your profession and not much in the academic field. If you go to an academic university, at least in the UK, I mean, I study in the UK, so I know how university works in the UK, but also in Switzerland is a little bit like this. So you will do a lot of academic stuff. You will do research. You will have to study a lot. You will have to use academic terminology. You will have to use academic ways to express yourself. Whereas if you go to a professional university, it's much more practical. Okay, there are much more practical things. Even the teachers that teach in a professional university are teachers that come from the professional field, not much from the academic field. So you are very much directed into your profession. And because of that, you need a 1-year practice. Because you didn't choose an apprenticeship, you're gonna need a 1-year practice to be able to enter in the professional university. Then you have the business school. Now, the business school is also a little bit practical. So it's not as theoretical as high school, it's much more practical than high school. You will learn things connected to business, mainly to the commercial side of a business. So that's also why it's actually called a commercial school, but I decided not to call it commercial school because, well, you learn things about businesses. So you learn accounting, you learn finance, you learn all these things, about a business. Of course, you also learn math and all that. In business school, you have 2 types of diplomas that you can get. You can get the professional maturity, or you can get the high school maturity. These two are different schools, of course. One is located in a certain city, another one is located in another city. And these two have very different subjects. You will learn different things. Both of them, though, have a practical side. So both of them will have some practical things. So yes, the difference between these two different paths in business school is kind of important because the subjects are different. And also one is a little bit more difficult, the high school type of maturity, and the other one is a little bit less difficult. Be aware that some of these schools have a threshold to enter. For example, high school has a threshold. Not everyone can go to high school. If you don't have a certain mark at middle school, you cannot go to high school. Then, after business school, after you acquire the business school, you can either go to an academic university or a professional university. With which criterions though? With a professional maturity or professional diploma, you can go to a professional university. With a high school diploma, you can go to an academic university and also to a professional university. Be aware of this difference. Then you have the technical schools, and that's the path that I chose. And actually, this is the path that I believe it's actually characteristic for Switzerland because it's a lot efficient. First of all, to be able to go to a technical school, you will need a job. Now, this is not exactly true for every single profession. Some profession, like civil drafting, has an option to go to a technical school, but a full-time technical school, where they will make an internal apprenticeship in the school. Is it hard to get a job in Switzerland? Not really. Like an apprenticeship? Not really. You just need to be a little bit good at middle school, not too much, and you can basically, you just need to apply to many jobs. Don't do the mistake that I did. I didn't apply to anyone. I just applied to 1 or 2 companies. They rejected me, so I had to go for the first year in the full-time school and then switch in the second year. Anyways, that's good. Okay. When you are in technical school, you can either decide between 2 paths. One is the maturity path and one is the non-maturity path. The maturity path will give you, first of all, the diploma. You will get the diploma anyways, so the professional diploma for your job. For example, I have a civil drafting diploma that gives me the chance to work as a civil drafter, and also you will be able to get a professional maturity if you want to. It's not necessary, and also not all technical schools or not all professions will give you the possibility to go through the maturity, through the professional maturity. So you will have to do it a little bit later, but I will tell you now. So at this point, to summarize, we have high school, business school, technical schools. From high school, we can go to uni, any type of uni. From business school, depending on which type of business schools you choose, you can go to either a professional university or an academic university. And then we have technical schools, which are schools where you actually work and you do an apprenticeship. All these schools last 4 years. All these schools. Some technical schools can go for 3 years, depending on the profession, but mainly it's 4 years. For technical schools, you can decide to do a non-maturity path or a maturity path. I decided the maturity path because, well, I don't want to waste my time, so it's better to go for a professional maturity path. So at least you have it. Why do you need it? Because without it, you cannot go to university. Now, don't worry about it. If your profession doesn't have a professional maturity, you can still do it later, or if you chose not to do it for some reasons, and then you decide that you want to go to uni, you can still do a professional maturity. It takes 1 year, just 1 year, and you will have a professional maturity. You enroll in a specific school that only does professional maturity. After you acquire the professional maturity, you can do 2 things. This applies also to other types of uni when you get the professional maturity. You can either go for a year of high school, where you will acquire a similar level high school maturity, not exactly the same diploma, but a similar diploma which has the same level, or you can go to a professional university. To go to a professional university, since you have an apprenticeship, you don't have to do a year of practice. You can go directly to the professional university. Or you can go to an academic university, but first you have to do this 1 year of high school, okay, where you will acquire a similar level of diploma as the high school diploma. That's the path that I did because I wanted to study in the UK, and in the UK you have academic university, and they don't take you if you don't have the same level of a high school diploma. So I did that. Now, the important thing to understand is that not in every canton there is the chance to go through a course to pass the high school level diploma. Okay, so it's called in a certain way. In Italian, it's called anno passerella, but we will call it same level high school diploma because it's much easier for me to translate it in English like that. But not all cantons have a course. Some cantons have private courses. They may cost even 20,000 francs for a year. Some other cantons, such as the Italian canton, fortunately has a cantonal, so a state course that it's funded by the canton. We only had to pay 2,000 francs for the course. Nonetheless, in every canton you are able to do the exam, but not in every canton you are able to do a course to pass the exam. So you will have to study by yourself, which is crazy difficult. Trust me, it's crazy difficult. The majority of people, the pass rate of people that choose to study alone is very, very low. So the pass rate of people that choose to do the course here in the Italian region is about 90%, I believe. 3 or 4 people out of 50 dropped out, so didn't pass the exam. And the pass rate of people that choose private courses is still very low. This is just to tell you that be careful when you choose an apprenticeship. You cannot do all the courses in a professional university. You cannot do medicine in a professional university. You cannot do biology in a professional university. You cannot do many things in a professional university. You cannot do law. So be careful. If you are not sure what to do in middle school, just go to high school. If you know what you want to do and you know that that profession cannot be acquired with a professional university, go to high school. Unless you live in Ticino. If you live in Ticino, there is this cantonal course, or you live in another canton that gives you the chance to go through a course, then go to a technical school. Trust me, go to a technical school. Why is that? Because you will be able to actually start working, even at 15. Now, let me tell you why this is very, very interesting. 40,000 francs. That's the average salary for 4 years of apprenticeship. After 4 years of apprenticeship, you will receive 40,000 francs. Of course, throughout all the months of apprenticeship, but if you count all your earnings, all your paychecks, you will receive 40,000 francs. That's not nothing. That's why we can start investing at 15. We can start thinking about our retirement at 15. We can start thinking about many things connected to money. We can start managing money. We can start learning how to manage our money. You can start learning how to save money and many other things. Try not to avoid technical schools. If you already know your path and you know that your path can be acquired with a professional university, or if you have a course in your canton that can make you do the same level of high school diploma, then go through a technical school. Trust me, that's the path that I chose, and I believe that's one of the best paths that you can choose. Of course, if you don't have any interest in any profession, and trust me, there are so many professions, there are hundreds and hundreds of professions in Switzerland, but if you have no interest in any of them, well, of course, you are gonna choose high school. But if you want to be an accountant, if you want to be a banker, there is a profession for that. If you want to be an engineer, you can do civil drafting. If you want to be an architect, you can do edil drafting, architectural drafting, let's say. So there are many things you can do. And so, yes, consider technical schools. Another thing that I want to tell you is that unfortunately, to access the course, at least in Ticino, so in the Italian region, to do the course, to then pass the exam for the same level high school diploma, you have a 50 people cap. So that means that only the 50 best people that have the best mark in the technical school will be able, so in the professional maturity actually, will be able to access this course. Otherwise, you will be cut off. Now, it was 25 before, now it's 50, so that's much better, but still, you gotta be good, at least in the professional maturity. Not much in the professional diploma, but in the professional maturity at least. Now, what's the difference between academic university and a professional university? A professional university is only bachelor's. You can only do a bachelor's in a professional university. In an academic university, you can do a master's and a PhD and all that. Can you switch from a professional university to an academic university? Of course you can. After you finished your 3 years of bachelor's at a professional university, you can then switch and go for a master's in an academic university. But in most cases, they will take away some months, if not 1 year, from your bachelor's. So, for example, for my example, if I wanted to do a professional university for engineering, for civil engineering, I would have to do the 3 years of bachelor's and then go to do a master's in Zurich. Probably I would have gone to Zurich. And to do the master's, I would have started in the 3rd year. So you start 3rd year, 4th year, and 5th year. Whereas if you go directly to an academic university, you would just do 1st year, 2nd year, 3rd year bachelor's, and then 4th year, 5th year's master's. So you still have that 1 year more, which is the same year as the Passerella year, so the course to do the same level of high school diploma. Anyways, this is the school system in Switzerland. I believe it's one of the best school system, especially because of technical schools. It gives the chance to people to start working at 15. I don't know if you understand the power of starting to work at 15. You start engaging with professionals. You start understanding what is the business environment. You start earning money, finally, at 15. Also, you start spending money, which is always good for an economy. People need to spend money, people need to invest, and if you start at 15, it's actually gonna be very, very good for the country. And in most countries, I believe it's not like that, unfortunately. I would like to see it in more countries. It's not that easy to switch from one side to another, but it's possible. So don't be worried about switching from one side to another. Swiss people don't expect you to know what you want to do at 14 or 15. They just expect you to understand what you can do. And then there is always a way to switch. The way can be a little bit more complicated or a little bit less complicated, but there is a way. So if you want to do it, there is always a way. So this is all I had to say for the school system in Switzerland. I hope you like this video, and if you have any questions, please fill down the comments and let me know how is your school system in your country. I want to know how the school systems work in many countries. I mean, I have only a little bit of a stereotype for other countries, not even a stereotype, like an idea, because I think it's like that, but I'm not actually 100% sure. So fill down the comments and I'll read them. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like. This really helps the channel. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.